Welcome to my video footage of closing night at the Words and Pictures Museum. When we first got to the museum, we hung out down in the gift shop. This place has definitely changed since opening night, as we spin around to show that there's windows out the front of the building, which originally was not there. Then we head upstairs to the party. The party is filled with a lot of people and familiar faces that I know, some really good friends. Right here's Miki talking with Jim. And they also had some good food. So we're sitting around having some snackage and enjoying ourselves, and Fiona came out and did a speech.
Thank you very much. We'd like to take this opportunity while we have pretty much everybody here on the fourth floor to actually bend your ear for a couple of minutes. We have a lot of people that we would like to thank for this evening's event, thank for the museum in general, and talk a little bit about the future of the museum, and a couple of people would like to say a couple of words. So I want to begin by thanking everybody that's here this evening. Everybody who's here really has participated in the museum in one capacity or another, and in some way in the creation and the ongoing support of the museum, and it's very important that we have you all here this evening. The museum itself was founded in 1990 as a non-profit organization. It was inspired by the selfless dream of one man, a philanthropist and an artist, Kevin Brooks Eastman. Suffice to say, he gathered a heck of an assemblage of people and talents and skills to bring the museum to what it is today. He felt that there was a niche in the art market that needed to be filled. Then he created an organization dedicated to the preservation of comic books and the exhibition of comic book art and the acceleration of the appreciation for that art form. His dream has in part been fulfilled, and as I would say, as we close this chapter and turn a new web page, he will continue to fulfill that mission. And I would like to point out two people in particular who have, I think, participated in pretty much every museum event we've had. Artist Mark Bodie and writer Paul Jenkins, who particularly, thank you very much for this. As a member of the museum team, I really, right now, I'm speaking on behalf of the entire institution. And this is the opportunity for us specifically to thank a number of people who have made particular efforts to support the museum, whether they're members, volunteers, interns, staff, members of our community. Specifically, we'd like to thank Jim Ullman, who has voluntarily photographed every museum exhibit and event we've ever had. He flew in from Florida tonight to do the same thing again, so when he flashes and you see your skeleton, smile for him. We'd also like to thank Tom Laurent, who has been a longtime member and has taken on a letter writing campaign to support the museum. Dear Mr. Stan Lee, dear Marvel Comics, dear you name it, who have worked as docents and clerks and writers in the galleries, in our store, on our newsletters, to our interns and volunteers. I do want to make mention of some of our management who have been with the museum and really helped guide the institution to this point. And despite the imminent closing of this facility, have continued to work tirelessly on behalf of the museum and continue to volunteer their efforts on behalf of the museum. To Marianne Meeks, our former executive director, who from 1991 until just 2 years ago led this organization to extraordinary heights. And she hired me, so thank you very much. She was instrumental in finding and hiring our director of finance and development, Joseph Shelsey. To Matt Smith, he's really the glue of the team. And thank you, Matt. He consistently brings sanity to every aspect of the museum. And to Phil Straub, who many of you know as the membership coordinator, and I think he actually did show up eventually. Oh, he's down the back. Hi, Phil. So Phil, our membership coordinator, he has directed and maintained and managed the program. He's maintained scrupulous contact with our membership, as anybody of our wonderful membership could tell you. And Tanya Talbot is the quiet lady who is solely behind the museum storage. To our founding members, you can see their names on the brass plaques in the hallway, Founders Hall on the 3rd floor. Specifically, our founding members include Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird, Mirage Studios, Jim Prendle, in memory of his late wife Cheryl, Right Angle Inc., Burroughs and Weiss, Michael and Barbara Levine, Romano and Pascucci, Tiagno Construction, and Fierce Nine and Pucci. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you also specifically to Michele Ivey, who is probably the biggest fan of the museum and the biggest fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on this earth. And she comes consistently from the Midwest to attend every event we ever have. She's hiding over there somewhere. I know she's in. Oh, she's right in front of me. Michele has been saving the funds for for a long time to become a founding member of the museum, and tonight we'd like to announce that when the virtual museum is launched in January of 2000, you'll be considered one of our founding members, so thank you very much. Finally, I would like to thank the man who had the dream, and as far as I'm concerned, the Nats, to put this operation together. Our founder and our trustee, Kevin Brooks Eastman, has given and continues to give of himself on a daily basis, financially, directionally, emotionally, energetically. He's never once flagged in his support of the museum, and when others didn't lend their support, he continued to provide support, financing, and direction, and continues to do so for the museum. He's organized innumerable fundraisers and innumerable special events on behalf of the museum, and he has always made himself available to fans and to staff alike, and he leads an incredibly hectic life. Back to the Oscar speech part of it, I'd like to thank Kim and Sandra Eastman, Kevin's parents, for being here this evening, for having him. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Seriously, on behalf of Words and Pictures Museum of Fine Sequential Art, I want to thank you all enormously for being here, for being part of this celebration. And it really is a celebration, and I ask you to raise your glass to the future of Words and Pictures Museum as we move online. And we thank you for your support to date, and continued support. We trust you'll continue to support us. Thank you very much. This is the guy.
One thing that Kevin has helped us with in town, he's really put Northampton on the map, turtles and all, but he has a special place in his heart for an organization that I also do. That's the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Yeah. What we'd like to do is present Kevin with this plaque from the Make-A-Wish Foundation for appreciation for everything he's done for the kids. Thank you very much. But this is from the business community in Northampton. Thank God for all the bucks you sent my way. And I know I speak for everybody else in Northampton for the endless flow of cash. The endless flow of people, and I even hit him up tonight. I want to borrow his tank.
Let's see it, Kevin.
I just want to say a few things. Actually, Fiona had asked me to say a few things, but emotionally I didn't think I could, and obviously I can't. Because it's a very exciting day, but it's a very sad day. And I love all of you guys very much.
After the speech, the party wound down as everyone went around and said goodbye to each other and just had a good time taking in the atmosphere of our last visit to the Words and Pictures Museum. I went around and said goodbye to a few friends, including Kevin Eastman. This was very hard since he was always there when I came. Then we went down to the second floor, which was my favorite floor of the full museum. It was the interactive floor. This was very hard to walk out of because we just knew we would never be able to come back to see this place and again. We went down to the main floor where we went through the cave on our way out, heading into the gift shop where we got to say goodbye to the last person there, Fiona. That was closing night at the Words and Pictures Museum in 1999. Next week we're going to have an interview with Jim Martin, the puppeteer of Leonardo for Ninja Turtles 3. Hope everyone enjoys. See you next time.